Here I am in the park, and apparently Saturday is let's do all the yard work in the park day. Now I didn't know that they did that on Saturday, and I cannot believe that on my third YouTube video I'm doing the whole forgive the noise in the background. But we're gonna continue on. Hope this mic is doing the heavy lifting that it's supposed to do. This is my second time filming this. I filmed it the first time at home, like the other two videos, and it just didn't feel right. And I was just gonna edit it and post it, and it was just like, it didn't feel right. So I decided to try again. Okay, we needed a do-over. Not to mention that like most of my videos, it was filmed after midnight. So maybe that was like the best one to film after midnight. Now it's midday. One of Minneapolis's, 185 neighborhood parks. And I guess I just so happened to pick the one where we're doing landscaping on Saturday. So yeah, I have my notes, of course, but we're just gonna see what happens. So yeah, I'm Tina. Welcome back. If you're one of my 9 subscribers, thank you so much. And welcome if you're new. So I'm 35, and in 11 days I start dental hygiene school, and I'm really excited. I've never been more excited for anything in my entire life, and I don't mean that like hyperbolically, like I mean it for real. Like literally, nothing in my entire life has made me as excited as I am for the adventure that's about to start in 11 days. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I got here. So in 2006, I graduated high school, and I went to private school from 5th grade to graduation. So it's a lot, right? Uniforms, lots of rules, chapel, which is like church every Wednesday, like the whole nine, like legit private school. It was a really small school. My graduating class had 17 people, I want to say. So it was really small. And I liked it, I have friends that I still keep in touch with from high school. I mean, it was high school, right? But it was fine. I was in the National Honor Society. Now, I don't really know what that means. I'm going to be honest with you. I Googled it and it said that you have to have like a 3.5 GPA. So that kind of like lets you know where I was academically when I graduated. School was never super difficult for me or anything like that. I did take a college writing class when I was a senior, and it was split up into, like on my transcript, it's split up into fall '05 and like, I guess spring or, spring '06. And I got a C and then a B. So, I mean, I got a bad grade, but then I like improved, so that's kind of like how it was. In high school, if I were to get like a bad grade, like a C for me is not good at all. So I would like improve. I wasn't like a C student by any means, but one will sneak in every like now and then. And I probably got a C in like a math class that I wasn't suited for, because I know that I was in some sort of advanced math and then went back to the easy math. Like say this ain't happening. So I probably would have, either got a bad grade or got some bad grades and then decided to change over there. But anyway, when I graduated, it was a National Honor Society, and the plan was never to like go to college right away. Again, I went to private school from the 5th grade to when I graduated. I was not about to go to nobody's college for 4 years. Like, no, it wasn't going to happen. So, but also a whole year off would have been like, no, I don't have enough stuff to do for a year, to be honest with you. I could find, a way to occupy my time for 6 months, but like a year, there's no way. So I take my gap semester, and I just did like typical kid stuff, typical kid shit, especially considering I've been in private school, right? Hung out with my friends. I didn't get like arrested or caught up with the law, anything like that, but just like typical kid stuff. Enjoyed myself. No regrets, obviously. Maybe not obviously, but no regrets. I don't really regret anything, but especially that gap semester, there's no way that I would have been able to go to college and just like make it right from high school. Like I wouldn't have even had 3 months off. So definitely happy that the choice was made. And when I started college in January 2007, I was majoring in communication studies, and I went to Texas State University. It's in San Marcos, Texas, which is kind of like halfway between Austin and San Antonio. What is this lady doing? I swear to God, this lady came out of her car. She looked like she got a purpose. I hate that I'm filming this video in this park. I have to be honest with you. Oh, wow. But it's getting me out of my comfort zone, right? Anyway, what was I saying? Majored in communication studies. And I picked that major because, I mean, it kind of was the only one that made sense. Anything like math-based, not an option. Science, history, English, none of that was an option. And I decided on communication studies because I mean, we all communicate every day, right? So studying that and learning how to communicate better or learn more about communication and just, it seems like a great option. And I don't know, if you don't know what communication studies is, it's not mass communication. I think mass communication is like like not broadcast journalism, that's probably a degree, but I feel like mass communication is like studying. I don't know what mass communication is. Let me not sit up here and start making stuff up. Anyway, all I know is what communication studies is, which is what I studied. So January was when I started college, and the first semester was really difficult for me. Academically, it was my worst semester. My GPA at the end of my first semester was a 2.38, really bad. I got 1B and 2Cs and 1A. But it is what it is, right? From there, my GPA generally went up every semester, ending in my last two semesters. I actually made the dean's list. I had a 3.54 and a 3.77. So, kind of the same as high school. Like, didn't start out great, but I improved because for me, it doesn't feel good at all to have a 2.38. Like, that's not good. I guess I should back up and say that I went to college all along knowing that getting my degree, like actually graduating, wasn't the goal, which I know that kind of sounds weird, but I wanted to be a flight attendant. And I was a flight attendant. I was a flight attendant for like over 11 years. That's going to come in a second. But I wanted to be a flight attendant, but when I graduated high school, I was 17. I think that the first airline hired at 19. Maybe it was 18. It was a regional called American Eagle. I think they're probably still around. So it was either they hired at 18 or 19. Either way, I wasn't going to put all my eggs into the basket of one regional airline. And if they didn't hire me, I was going to just not do anything. Like, that didn't really make any sense. Like, I had to have a plan. So the plan was, which is what I ended up doing, apply for any airline I can, anytime I can when I meet the age requirements, and go to college until when and if I get a job, which is exactly what happened. So what should have been my second to last semester, but which was the last semester that I attended and got the 3.7 GPA or 3.77. And I actually took classes that summer. I took a couple French classes because I needed that to fulfill, I think, like a foreign language requirement for my minor, I don't know, just to get a degree. So I took those French classes in the summer and, fully intending to go back to school in August. And in July of 2010, I got a job offer and I started training for that job in August 2010. So 1 month later, I just didn't go back to school and I just was, fulfilling my dream. What I had wanted to do at this point, I think I was 21 when I was a flight attendant. So like, it had been at least a solid 3-4 years that I knew this is what I wanted to do and had been trying, and finally it was here. So I got hired at a regional airline based in Utah, and I moved to Utah, which I liked. I had lived in Texas my whole life, and of course I'd seen snow, but I was excited to live in a place where it was like snowy. What I didn't know is that it's also super duper hot in the summertime because it's like desert and stuff. So it's beautiful in Utah, like gorgeous. But in the summer, it's just as hot as it is in Texas. And I'm like, no, sorry, I can't. That wasn't what I thought I was getting. So eventually I moved away from Utah and I transferred to Minneapolis. But I commuted for a little while. So I flew up to Minneapolis anytime I had to fly, and then flew back to Salt Lake when my flight was over. And then I moved here, stayed here for a little while, and then I ended up moving back to Texas. And I did the same commuting thing. So whenever it was time for a trip here, I would fly up here from Texas and fly back, blah, 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 blah. That got old and I moved here in 2015. So I started flying in 2010 and I started looking into dental hygiene in 2013. So I don't know what happened or what it was about 2013 that made me want to pivot, but it clearly was something. And I guess I back then, right, I wasn't thinking about today. I wasn't thinking about in a decade you're going to be, making a YouTube video, so you should remember what's going through your head. What I can say is that obviously, I don't mean this in a negative way or a woe is me way, but obviously whatever I thought I was going to have by realizing my dream of becoming a flight attendant, I guess I didn't have it, right? Because if I did, why would I be searching for another career? And then if I'm just going to be radically honest here, probably a big part of it is, well, that's a big fly. Lord. how part of it is I'm like an introvert, and it's tough, like being a flight attendant as an introvert, not only because of the passengers, and actually not because of the passengers for the most part, but because of like having to meet a new flight crew every flight and like introduce yourself and do the whole song and dance. Where are you from? You know, where did you transfer here? What did you do before here? Have you ever worked at an airline? Like the same questions every time. It's difficult. It's difficult. It's tough. So maybe that's why. I don't know. And again, like the pay is really good, which is researchable. So it's not an unknown. And I can only imagine that I was like, hey, if I can have my hands in somebody's mouth cleaning their teeth and making a lot of money, it might not be so bad. I don't know if that sounds bad, but I mean, for me, that sounds like a great reason to change careers. But anyway, long story longer, 10 years later, here I am. So yeah, in 2013, that's when I knew like this was something that I was interested in. And when it goes back to my bachelor's, I think I might only have like three fashion merchandising, which was my minor. Very random. There's really no story there. Well, the story is that my minor was French, and then I was like, that's not going to happen. And then so I changed it to fashion merchandising. So that's kind of the story there. But I think I might only have like 3 fashion merchandising courses, maybe a few communications courses that I would need to get my like bachelor's. But I don't know if I want it. It's like, what's the point? I'm not going to do anything with it, literally anything. But it might be nice to have like a bachelor's because of, not because of anything that matters to me, but because I guess like a perception, which is kind of weird to think about because I don't really care what people think, but I guess I do. If I'm even, you know, if I'm even toying with this idea when I don't really care, that's probably different. I probably need to discuss that with the professional. But anyway, so 2013, this became a dream. 2015, I moved to Minneapolis. And then the next summer 2016, that's when I took my first courses that I needed for like dental hygiene prerequisites. I took Principles of Nutrition and Introduction to Psychology. And as an aside, I did earn A's in both of those, so go me. But yeah, so if you think about it, there wasn't too much I could do to like have sped this process up. There definitely are some things I could have done, but if I did, like let's look at it, right? Let's say I got in 2020. No, thank you. I'd rather go now. Let's say I got in 2021. Again, like a lot of the same. So in a way, I think it worked out the way it was supposed to. So I started taking my first classes in 2016, and pretty consistently, I was taking classes every, I took classes 2016, 2017, 2018, and then I took 19 and 20 off, but I took classes in 2021, 22 as well. So, I mean, it's like other than 2019 and 2020, like I've been like, you know, I've been putting in the work. I've been doing prereqs and improving my grades. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. And when you think of something as a dream when you're 25 in 2013, and you don't think about that it might take you 10 years to get there, before the hell you know it, you're 35, and then that's how you get it. But I wouldn't have changed anything. Like I wouldn't have gone straight from high school to be a dental hygienist. That wouldn't have been what I wanted. That wouldn't have been right for me, you know. The 11 years that I was a flight attendant were amazing. You know, I have no complaints. If I had a complaint, I wouldn't have been there for 11 years. Like, there's no way. I like the way my brain works is I really did think that first I thought I was gonna fly and go to dental hygiene school, which, while difficult, would have been doable. Like at least for this first semester for sure, because I don't have school Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, so I could just work 1 4-day trip a week. You know, it really is possible for this semester for sure. Now, as we get further along, I don't know. But the fact that I thought I was going to fly and go to dental hygiene school was really not smart. And then additionally, I thought I was going to graduate, and I thought I was going to fly and clean people's teeth. Like, just really not thinking it. So, yeah, didn't think that through. But the way life works, now I'm not flying, and the job that I am working at, I work at a warehouse, and they pay for tuition. They're pretty much going to cover my entire degree. It's amazing. Like, so yeah, life has a way of working out. It really does. And in order to get into the dental hygiene program, because I'd taken so many like college courses in undergrad, I did like 7 out of 8 semesters. And my GPA, as I said, started out kind of low and then got higher. I wasn't coming in with the strongest GPA. I ended up getting academic forgiveness or something like that. And they basically erased my entire transcript from Texas State. So that's kind of why I had to retake a couple courses here recently, 2022, because it was like classes I had taken back then that were counting that were now erased. But one thing I also want to say is, like, if you're in my position or you're going back to school, I would just say be your own advocate. Advisors at my school really weren't as helpful as they could have been when it comes to helping me see what options I had. Nobody recommended academic forgiveness to me. I'm the one who researched that and found out about it. And I emailed somebody saying, hey, I found this. Like, this looks like it could help. It's like, am I reading this correctly? And they were like, yeah. So, not to say that anybody should be doing my work for me, and nobody's responsible for those grades that I got that made me need academic forgiveness anyway, but me. That's fine. But just to let you know, like, just because the options are out there, the people who are in advisory positions might not be making you aware of them. So be your own advocate. So as I'm going into this program in 11 days, as I'm filming this, which is totally crazy, I have to say I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous at all. I'm really excited. I don't think that I'm going to be the only like older person. We had an orientation earlier the year and some people have their cameras on. Not everybody looks like fresh out of high school. So I think I'll be in good company there. And I think also being at a community college, I think it's maybe like common for people to be in different parts of their life. I'm not nervous about being like old, like sticking out in that way. I am nervous about being older and how what I hear can sometimes be a really challenging career on the body, like how that's going to be for me, because like right now, just in general, sometimes my body is like just doing all types of stuff. My body is making me aware that I am 35, even though I don't feel 35 in the mind, but like my body is letting me know, like, don't play with me. And I be playing too much. So, I think that going into dental hygiene, I'm really cognizant that like I need to make sure that my ergonomics are right. I know that we're going to be getting loops, which are like the little glasses that you wear to like have magnification into the patient's mouth, but also keep your neck and head in the right position, I think. But anyway, I'm gonna get the ones that like are the best for me ergonomically, even if it costs more, because the investment in those loops is like I can't be playing around. It's not gonna happen. Like I have to invest in my body, really. So definitely knowing that going into school. And I'm hoping maybe that because I've had like experience academically, that I will kind of like ease into that academic part of it. Not only the experience in undergrad, but like I've been taking like classes, pretty consistently, even though they've mostly been online. So I haven't been in like a classroom setting. And I know that dental hygiene is not going to be anything like when I was in university. It's going to be totally different. But I'm hoping that the experience that I have there would kind of just benefit me in some way. Or if not, the life experience. And not to sound like I'm like wise or anything, but I mean, I would hope that if there's like a person who's 23, that I have more life experience than them at 35. If not, that's a problem. Well, maybe it's not a problem. Maybe that 23-year-old is super advanced, but probably chances are it would just be me who's not where I need to be. So I would hope that there's not any, 23-year-olds with more life experience than me. It would be very embarrassing. Another thing that I think should be mentioned is that like the fact that I'm not nervous about school, that kind of weirds me out, because like I'm nervous about not being nervous. Because if you read the stories online, they're horror stories. They're telling you it's toxic, the teachers are awful. Like, I mean, they're like, you see what I'm saying? It's not good stuff. So, and I believe these people. I don't think that everybody is ganging up to lie about dental hygiene school. It doesn't even make any sense. There's no conspiracy, okay? These people are telling the truth. This is what their experience was. So the fact that I believe them, but I'm also not nervous, like those two things are really hard for me to reconcile. Because I should be nervous. Because everything they're saying is true, right? Like I believe it's true. But why am I not nervous? I don't know. But, all that being said, I am so excited for this journey. And I didn't mention it before, but like the way that this is gonna change my life financially, I don't wanna like dwell on it, because it's not like, I don't want to spend my money before I have it. This is gonna change my life. This career. Dental hygiene, like the median annual wage, I think it's $78,000 a year. I made between $35,000 and $40,000 last year. So that's like double. I don't know anybody whose income has doubled in 1 year. Oh, there's a B, please, Lord. Okay. I don't know anyone whose income has doubled in 1 year and it didn't change their life. How could it not? Like, I'm not living in poverty by any means, and I'm not wanting for much. So to be able to have twice as much money as I have now, when I probably only need like 25, 30% more to get my shit together, I'm gonna be able to treat myself and make some really, really, really smart financial decisions with the amount of money that's gonna be coming in. Like, I'm gonna be able to set myself up for a really strong future. And I wouldn't have been able to do that flying. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to dwell on it. That's kind of why I just mentioned it at the end. But the way that this is gonna change my life financially is just, it just can't be understated. Overstated? Overstated. Can't be overstated. Yeah, and again, to my 9 subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing. If you're still watching, wow. And if you're still watching and you're not subscribed, don't you want to be number 10? You do. Go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you have anything to say, like comments, let me know in the comments. If you have any comments, let me know in the comments. All right, yeah, I think it's about time to wrap it up. When I start school, I'm going to start making vlogs. So if you want to see vlogs, definitely make sure to subscribe. In any case, see you next time. Bye.